Are you interested in learning psychological type? Have you done or are you thinking about doing your accreditation in a Psyche-type indicator? Using an indicator can be an excellent starting point in identifying a person's psychological type. However, indicators are never foolproof because an accurate result requires the candidate to have a good understanding of psychological type concepts and the ability to evaluate themselves objectively. In other words, indicator results will be inaccurate if we don't know ourselves very well, if we're acting in persona, putting on a mask to impress others, or if we misunderstand the terminology. Thus, indicator results should always be accompanied by skilled moderation on the part of an administrator. The difficulty is that accreditation courses teach people to administer an instrument, but provide only basic knowledge of the underlying theory of psychological type and no opportunity to practice. Can you imagine wanting to see a doctor that had learned all the theory but had never had any practice? Most people leave their accreditation courses knowing only how to administer an instrument and not how to test whether the instrument result fits the candidate. They become reliant on an indicator because they don't have the knowledge or skill to assist people to discover their true type. Let me give you some examples of the problems that arise when indicators are administered in ignorance. Myth number 1, that type changes over time. Here at Interpersonality, we often hear comments like, "I'm not sure what type I am now because I used to be ISTJ, but I must have changed because my most recent result was ISFJ." Sorry, your psych type is with you from birth. It is only the indicator result that has changed. Myth number 2, that it is possible to be borderline. The results of indicators are plotted on a scale, but the scale doesn't measure anything. It only indicates the clarity of your preference. That is, a borderline score does not indicate that you are a little of this and a little of that. It means your preference is less clear, which may be the result of persona, lack of self-awareness, misunderstanding of terminology, or deep personal growth. Myth number 3, that you need an indicator to determine type. Even many psych-type practitioners are unaware that you don't need an indicator. Anyone can learn to identify type by observation and just listening to people. This is a skill we teach in our Psych Insight course. Jungian personality type is a rich and deep science that offers genuine insight into the mind, but only if the reported personality matches the candidate's psyche and not their current misconception. It is sad the number of people who will argue that they are this or that type, even the number of YouTube videos of people sharing their type with others, completely unaware that their true type is being revealed through their expressions and gestures. An example. I strike up a conversation about psych type with a friend of mine, and I tell her, "Congratulations, you're an ENFP." "No, I'm not," she says. "Okay," say I. "So what are you?" "Well, I don't remember, but I did the test years ago, and I wasn't ENFP. What do the letters stand for again?" "I think I'm more of an introvert, actually. And what does the J mean again?" Now, anyone with a good knowledge of psych type will recognise that my friend's comments could only have come out of the mouth of an ENFP. Her extroverted thinking, TE, was offered as factual language, and her extroverted intuition, NE, explored possibilities and asked questions. This is why it is important to have a good grasp of the science of the psyche, because if you can't detect psych type in conversation, then you can't help people find their true type when the indicator gets it wrong. That's why at Interpersonality we've developed Just My Type, a comprehensive foundational course in psychological type. With 20 years experience in type between us, the Interpersonality partners have spent a lot of time studying people, and we want others to learn psych type as an everyday skill, like literacy, and not just a test that leaves people trying to find themselves in a description that doesn't quite fit. Just My Type is available for a fraction of the cost of accreditation courses. It's online, interactive, fun, and full of really useful information about psych type. We've filled our course with pictures, exercises and clips to make it enjoyable and to help people develop a real understanding of the diverse personalities that come into our lives every day. Learning Psyche-type changed my life and helped me to understand, work with and admire the different gifts of others. And let's face it, whether your interest is work-related or personal, life is about people. And when you know Psyche-type, you know people. You can learn the science of the psyche right here at interpersonality.com, where you will also find lots of free information about Psyche-type and an online community of type enthusiasts in our blogs and forums.